meet by the gate. Peter, I don't want you to make fuss. Remember, I want Christopher Columbus. Peter, look, the Englishwoman who was South Africa refused to put sanctions. Peter, I just don't care what you do, but Reagan going in the fire too. Why?
This is my time for
Blazing, blazing, blazing.
This is your time for
Burning and we burning and we burning and we burning. Hit me now. Peter, don't grudge me. Your hand done full already. You don't deal with the Führer. Go ahead and take Foster. But that woman Mary, remember that's my baby. So much confusion that she make. You got to give Black Stalin a break. Peter, wait, I say Peter, wait. Peter, look, voter reach by the gate. With voter, I don't want you to waste time. Remember, we still have Morgan behind. Peter, look, the Englishwoman who sent foreign troops in Africa land. Peter, I just don't care what you say. The Ku Klux Klan man can't get away. Why? Blazing, blazing, blazing. A burning and a burning and a burning and a burning. Hit me. Burn them, boy. Coming, coming, coming. We burning and we burning and we burning and we burning. Boy. Peter, stop pushing. It have plenty more
Pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
them from overseas. But leave my look.
How are we doing this afternoon?
My lifetime. The way they were so unkind. So much corruption that they make. Now it is time they must feel me way. Peter, Peter, don't hold me back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Class in Session program for another evening.
Peter, look, catch that big belly fella. We can remember.
Go ahead right now and share the live. Welcome to the persons on my Facebook and YouTube page.
Who bring foreign troops in the car.
How are we doing this afternoon?
Peter, I just don't care what you do, but ball head going in the fire too. Why? A burning and a burning and a burning and a burning. Blazing, blazing, blazing. We burning and we burning and we burning and we burning. Coming, coming, coming. Burn them, oh man.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. To the voice of Black Stalin. Seen 26 persons on my Facebook page. Not one share, no? Class getting delinquent then. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening to everybody. And my name, Royalty James, for another Class in Session program here on my Facebook and YouTube page. Go ahead right now, tag somebody, let them know that we're on for another Class in Session program, and we are ready to give you information most needed as it relates to social and political issues that are happening here in Grenada, Carriacou, and PD Martinique. We know not much of them would love to hear it, but ladies and gentlemen, guess what? We do it anyway. Alright? So welcome to everybody. Somebody say they moved to YouTube. Alright, or wherever they move to, let them know that they should come back. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, as per usual, and we have started since last week every day, we will recognize a stalwart within the New National Party. And so today we want you to press the like and love buttons and even give some blaze and some fire for dear brother out there in St. John's, Brother Alvin Dabrio, a stalwart of a gentleman, an individual who understands what power and foot on ground or boots on ground is really about. All right. And we want to recognize today Brother Alvin Dabrio, our candidate for the constituency for St. John's. So from the Class in Session program, a pleasant good evening to you, Brother Alvin Dabrio. God's blessings to you. And we pray that you and the entire family is doing well today, and you continue to be loyal to members of the new National Party. All right. That's the man. Somebody said, that's the man. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to start further in extending best of wishes to our students who will be sitting the CPEA examination tomorrow. My daughter is one of the persons, and so I want to wish everyone's kids, even my own, a blessed evening. You rest well and you get ready for tomorrow's examination. Go with God, go with the education that was given to you or impacted into you for the past 5 or 6 years or so while at your primary school level. And so tomorrow will be the first day of a big day. All right. So we are extending from the Class in Session program. If there is any one of you in the classroom that have your kids sitting the CPEA tomorrow, we want to extend best of wishes to them, and we hope that they will be able to regurgitate the information that has been given to them in their primary life. And as they go to sit the exam tomorrow, we give them God's wishes, best of wishes, and God's blessings. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to start in that manner today. All right. We want to play a clip now, and I want to play this clip because it goes on as we continue to recognize the stalwart of an individual, and as he would have mentioned or proclaimed, as he continues his twilight of this political career. I know that many of you all might have been there when he extended it, but I want to play this clip to remind you guys of the humility, the love, the empathy that this gentleman would have had for Grenada, as he would have served Grenada for 23 years long and 30 plus in terms of in his political career. None other than the past Prime Minister of Grenada, Carriacou, and PD Martinique. And we want to play this clip from one of the campaigns that he would have had, where he would have ensured that he reminded Grenadians how humble he is to have served this country. All right.
Father, I stand before you tonight. I am humbled for the love that you have shown me, the opportunity you all have given me, your faith and your love have brought me to this juncture tonight. By the grace of God, Almighty Being, whose patience have never run out on me, a humble sinner, has been my shield. And I am telling you this, I am one of the most luckiest men alive. Lucky in the sense to have a mother who have been so good and has been an unmovable rock, especially through the toughest days. She has been blessed to live a long life, to be able to witness this tonight. So I ask her to come up and stand before you tonight. Mom. Tell him good night.
Huh?
Tell him good night.
Good night.
And you love them.
And may God bless you all. I love you. And God love us. Be careful, let us love one another.
Sisters and brothers, as Emlyn said, it's difficult not to be emotional in occasions like this, but bear with me. It has been a long road from the stones of Brizan in St. George's, where I was born, and through the village of Shenda in Happy Hill. For a boy who walked up to the hills of Mount Morris and Munda and all the places of the beautiful constituency of Northwest St. George's, to wander and to dream. Sisters and brothers, throughout the length and breadth of the beautiful island of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique, I stand here tonight in this moment of history. I stand here tonight having fought as hard as I can, having picked up myself after falling down many times. I stand here tonight proud of you, the people of this beautiful nation. You are resilient and you are strong. It is people like you, the farmers of Budgegrove and all parts of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique, the fishermen of Grove and Grand Mole and St. Andrews and all parts of the country, the boat builders in Harveyville, in Carriacou and Petite Martinique, the teachers of Hermitage and all parts of the country, the market vendors and grandants and throughout the length and breadth of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique, and those particularly in St. Andrews. They have, and you, they have built me up and carried me through. I stand here tonight and believe me and wonder, and I say, what have I done to deserve your love, your forgiveness, your trust, your belief in me? I stand here tonight forever grateful and forever hopeful.
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of a stalwart of a leader, an individual who understood, who reminisce and give thanks to the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique, and continues to, in all ways possible, to ensure that his love for country remains the same. The voice of none other than the Right Honorable Dr. Keith Claudius Mitchell. And I wanted to start so today, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue to understand one thing. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at a stage in Grenada, especially to the supporters of the new National Party. We are at a stage in Grenada where we need not to argue and ask of any attention of the other side. We don't need to prove anything to them anymore. Because we have proven it time and time and time again. And I want to implore to you guys, stop with the petty social media back and forth with persons who cannot give you evidential backings, instead than to throw character assassination at you, and sometimes it extends even to your family. Stop. End it now. At this stage, when they come, you need to simply ask them to bring the evidence. Show us what you have given, show us what you have done, and therefore we can have a conversation. Quit with the back and forth on Facebook with person whose only intentions are to simply say to you, Kid Mitchell wicked, and the NNP the wicked, and the this and the that and the this and the that. And you can simply say to them, prove to me what your party, what your supporting administration has done that has outshined the past administration. That is all you need to do right now. Let us go past the stage of the petty Facebook back and forth. Because when you look at it, ladies and gentlemen, all you're seeing is that persons are only quick to give you some form of character assassination. The insults are what they want to bring to you. But let me tell you what is factual, and let me play what is factual for them.
Under the leadership of Dickon and his ineffective government, the current state of affairs is dire. The escalating crisis and ongoing issues, including a significant rise in gun violence, increased criminal activities, economic downturn, and limited spending power, squarely rest on their shoulders. The frustration among the populace has reached new heights under the NDC's leadership. The administration, led by Dickon Mitchell, has systematically dismantled essential services and support systems that once benefited our nation. Contributing factors to the surge in crime include high unemployment, situational poverty exacerbated by government actions, and extreme deprivation. These conditions push individuals towards criminal activities, compounding our challenges further.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is being proven. It is there to show. Ladies and gentlemen, it is there to show. And we would continue to remind them thereof that whenever you speak, we want for you to prove to us that your administration within a 2 years period, and they say today's appraisal. Today we would be appraising, and we're going to break down some of the ministerial positions. Right? Let me ensure that I get what I'm looking for. Thought I had to open it. Right. She's asking if I played that already. We have to know who is the lady. The lady is not important. The information. The information is what is important. Forget the messenger. Listen the message. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start to appraise. And you can assist me in the comment section. Let's start our appraisal, and let's start it very early. Because we want to ensure, and listen to me, we're going to score them out of 10. Use the comment section today. Go ahead and don't afraid to use the comment section, and we're going to grade them. We're starting with the office of the Prime Minister. And we're going to give him his appraisal. His portfolio and mandate of the office of the Prime Minister is impeccably linked with the role of the Prime Minister, the head of the government, and the chairman of cabinet. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as role of Prime Minister and the governing of this country under Dickens Mitchell reign, I ask of you, what might be your appraisal number? Because I have one, but I want to know all your own. Because we're scoring it out of 10. We're scoring them out of 10. Come on, YouTube, you can get involved too. Fear not to put in your number. The office of the Prime Minister. What and whom do you believe he has done? And give me your appraisal number. Somebody saying 1. Somebody saying 9.5. Somebody's even asking, who is the Prime Minister? Ladies and gentlemen, in any leadership, one of the first things you must get from your leader is that ability to what we would consider to be able to extend your rankings, knowing how to spread the persons within your realm. Now, within 4 months of this administration taking office, the Prime Minister had to demit the office of Minister of Finance. Now, if you're a leader and the intention thereof was that you were to take leadership, and within 4 months of you holding a portfolio, you had to demit that position, it shows lack of leadership. Within less than a 2-year period, you had to demit an individual, not demit, but take away from an individual a position in which you gave him. You had to basically exchange an individual's ministerial position. Notwithstanding that, when taking office, you didn't have a number 10, but you had to improvise in a manner where you had to include an individual in whom you never had intention of having. And we're going to get to that shortly. If I am to grade the Prime Minister, his appraisal in my book is a mere 4.5. 4.5. His leadership has not been seen in many entities. As I said, sometimes you have to know the presence when a leader is there. You have to know who is stringent and who is not. When individuals arrive in an area, you can ask who is the leader, because their leadership is felt. And as I make the example, there are times when Dr. Mitchell left Grenada and left Brother Bowen, another time Brother Elvin Nimrod in state, and you still felt that presence. You felt that presence. Because at the end of the day, even within his ministerial position, to date, you can safely say that his ministerial position as Minister of National Security is not being scrutinized and played with. Everybody is down on your ministerial position. The Commissioner of Police, the security of the state, falls within your realm, and persons are mentioning that they're feeling insecure within the state, and the Prime Minister is the minister responsible thereof. I think he understands the role and function to be carried out. He understands the theoretical part of leadership, but the practical aspect is what continues to make him the person that he is. So, our dear Minister, Prime Minister, in our appraisal today, you get a 4.5. Minister of Finance, efficient and effective delivery of finance and economic service to the national, regional, and international communities. What is your grade? What is your appraisal grade for the Minister of Finance? What is your grade? Some persons taking long to put in their grades. Let me go over on YouTube. Let me see if person started grading over there already. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see definitely that the expenditure within the state is slow. Our day-to-day economic running is slow. And you need not to worry about them big nice things you've seen displayed. You understand me? And let me jump to and I'm not going to make Che distract me today. Somebody, Che is saying, I'm comparing 35 years. No, brother. I have always said on this program, and in any statistics, what I do, especially when you have an extended time, I'm saying to you, Brother Landon, I am not giving you 35 years or so. I am simply saying to you, take any 2 years of the new Nationals Party reign, any 2 years. It doesn't necessarily mean the whole 22 years of Dr. Mitchell or 23 years. Take any 2 years. You could take 2 years of Ivan, 2 years of Emily, 2 years of COVID-19, or you could take any other 2 years and compare the effectiveness of this administration. Take Dr. Mitchell's first 2 years as a prime minister, a young prime minister. Take any two. I'm not going to give you the lifestyle or the lifelong of a politician as opposed to a mere 2 years politician. Take any two. Any two you wish to take. Any two you wish to take. Take Kit Mitchell first two, or he last two, or NNP last two, two in the middle, two on the side, and see whether or not that this administration has met any 2 years of the past administration. As I said, you are not seeing the propelling day-to-day economic drive from the Ministry of Finance. It seems like we have a problem in terms of financial management within the Ministry of Finance. My calculation, Ministry of Finance, I'm going to give you a 4. Appraisal. We are appraising today. We move on. Falls again under the minister or the prime minister. Minister of National Security, Home Affairs, Public Administration, Information and Disaster Management. The minister provides administration leadership, coordination and support for the implementation of policies and programs to enable execution of the prime minister's portfolio. Now ask me. The minister is responsible, and let's take it one by one. Right? The Ministry of National Security. National Security. National Security has gone. Forget National Security. Because if we were to compare within the national security aspect alone, we would give him 0. You know he would get a big 0. But however, still the organ of the police force continues. But however, so we're going to start him off with a 2 in that area. Home Affairs. Here in Grenada, ladies and gentlemen, there is a clarion call in which I don't believe the government is hearing. And as I said in my program yesterday, government needs not to be on the ground. I'm not expecting Deacon Mitchell or any other minister to leave their comfort zone. You understand me? And come out and get those certain things done. But government must be able to implement when problem arises. Hence the reason why I make comparison to when gas prices was an issue. Government could have sit back and say, hey, that is a fluctuation around the world. We need not to do anything. When there was an increase in the income of public service vehicle, Dr. Mitchell could say, well, they're coming in, we can't do anything. When the rise in sporting activities around the Caribbean was being disseminated, athletics and cricket and football, Dr. Mitchell could say, well, we don't have like a thing that we could use it. But because government realized that things were going into a different area, government stepped in. And so they developed, they implemented. You understand me? They implemented new things. So the issue that we're being faced with, which is this issue here, let me make you all hear the issue.
I just see 2 men fighting down by the standpipe down there.
Yeah, boy, what are them fighting for, you know?
Water?
Yeah.
Now what's up?
Yeah.
Water gone. Now the whole like Grenada choking water. Okay, you know? You know what I mean? Water gone. Now the whole like Grenada.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are being faced in Grenada with a water issue. And even this morning I did a live from my other page that speaks to it. And I'm saying, government again. Your implementation, your inclusion. Remember that government would have had a brand new board on Nawasa. Brand new board was developed on Nawasa. Remember Andy Williams, being praised for retrieving that money from the UK, in which he mentioned that the new National Party did nothing for 2 years when that money was given to Grenada. Now we're heading into just about a year and 6 months, and in the same manner, his administration is doing nothing when they would have stated that they secured monies from GQ project from the UK. Remember this? So when you mentioned then that money was retrieved and nothing was being done, hence the reason why the country lost the money, you retrieve it. It was for the purpose thereof, for the western side or some one of the areas in terms of water conservation. Wasn't that you mentioned that the project and the monies retrieved was for? And now, here in Grenada, we're having issues as it relates to water. In a time when an administration would have mentioned that the past administration had finances to develop that aspect, did nothing. But now that you have it in your possession, what are you doing? Or what have been done? What has been done? So, Home Affairs, public administration, forget that. Information and, well, at this the other day I asked somebody, I guess we're going to hear them in June. I guess we're going to hear them in June or some way as it relates to NADMA and so on and so forth. So within that realm, that the Prime Minister, again, his responsibility within that ministry, how much you feel we giving him in that appraisal? Brother Deacon, again you fail at a 4. Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export Development. The Minister for Foreign Affairs of Grenada is the entity responsible for the formulation and execution of the foreign policies of State of Grenada, as it involves the bilateral and multilateral relations with other states and with regional and international organizations. I think the dear brother, but who's the minister responsible for that? Who's the minister? Who's the Minister of Tourism? But however, ladies and gentlemen, assessing the developments within the tourism aspect, let's put them into perspective. What have you seen differently, or an implementation that could say this administration has done well within the tourism sector? I await you. Somebody said Adrian Thomas. What has the ministers done, or the minister has done, shut up ministers, what the minister has done, what his administration has done to improve our tourism sector here in Grenada? And by extension, in that of trade and export development. Well, they went with a contingency to go and sign an MOU in Cuba. Thing that falls under his portfolio also. So, what is your grade? What is your appraisal? What is your appraisal for the Ministry of Tourism, Trade and Export Development? When I tell you, I didn't even know the minister responsible. Because I want to believe, and I don't know how many of you all that are here, we're still in the tourism season, or it closed? Are we still around that time? I think it's closed. Closed sometime. I think it normally opens in October and closes like February, March, about. I'm subjected to correction. Tourism. What wow have you seen in tourism? What different? What implementation? What has government done to better taxi and maybe roadways and areas of tourism interests? What have you seen? We are appraising the ministry responsible for tourism, trade and export development. Well, the Prime Minister is traveling so much, I don't know if he's acting in the capacity of the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Not Foreign Affairs. Yeah, Foreign Affairs. What have you seen different within Foreign Affairs? You understand me? No, we're talking Foreign Affairs. So I think that is Mr. Andal. I think it was my mistake when I said tourism. Right? So we're talking Minister of Foreign Affairs, trade and so on and so forth. And if we go there, we would realize that even the incompetence within that ministry came to light. Remember, this came to light just a few months ago when in a press conference, the Prime Minister is saying, hey, there's a documentation to be signed and we're not even sure we're going to sign it. And at the end of the press conference, it was said that the document was already signed. So within that ministry alone, the mayhem that is happening, we could safely say we will give them two. And that is because the present ministry is existing. It don't close down yet. We move on. Minister of Economic Development, Planning, Tourism, Creative Economy, Culture, Agriculture and Lands, Forestry, Marine Resource, and Cooperative. What? That is all long. One. They said this person's role and function is driving the process of transformation, the economic well-being and quality of the life of the nation in accordance with targeting goals and objectives. Ladies and gentlemen, just by all the ministries that I just called, I can safely say to you, it's a failure. It is a failure. Economic development, planning, tourism. We just mentioned briefly tourism, creative economy, agriculture and lands, forestry, marine resources, and cooperatives. Sometimes when you hear these ministries, you're hearing them for the first time. I am certain there are persons that are sitting in the audience now that are wondering, who is the person responsible for that? Because somebody's asking it. Who is the minister there? Because there is nothing happening within the ministry, so there is not a wow to know who it is. I don't even know who it is. Because you see, and that's what I keep saying to you, if we continue to judge them on their personal characteristics, then persons go say we're hating on them. Hence the reason why I'm not disclosing ministers. I am disclosing what operation that is happening within the ministries. Right? And hence the reason why we are assessing the ministries. And what implementation, what have you seen? What development have you seen within this ministry? Man, I give this ministry a one way because we don't even know who is the minister. But they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. The Minister of Infrastructure and Physical Development, Public Utilities, Civil Aviation, and Transportation. We can pass somebody straight. We can pass somebody's ministry straight. Minister of Carrico and Pediatric Affairs and Local Government. We could put these two ministries together and appraise both ministries, and we're not passing 5. Safely. Because I believe both would get 2.5. So we're still not passing 5 with these two ministries put together. Ministry of Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs. We were praising social development. Immediately when they took office, we had issues in terms of them with the 150. They tried to bring back themselves in terms of putting it back. And then we realized that the fact is that they're making a bubble of themselves. Because they were just wanting to do something because the masses started to speak. So we realized very early that they were making a puppy show of themselves. So we're judging this ministry based on what is happening. Social development, community development. What has been happening within our communities? What has been happening in our communities? Somebody, I want to read a statement. I want to read something and I would pause to read it because I started to. Somebody saying, based on the Bible, how can you blame, I guess that's what I want to put, the government for crime? NNP, NDC cannot put peace. The Bible said that we are in the last days when we think we have peace, sudden destruction. Government cannot put peace. The devil is roaring, lying, seeking to devour. So all as we see in Grenada have to be done is to give their hearts to God now before it is too late. Ladies and gentlemen, after June 22nd, 2022, the last days and the Bible is now a recognition in Grenada. What a lovely thing that the Bible has just become a recognition in Grenada after the general election in 2022. Prior to that, the devil was Kid Mitchell. Rainfall, it was Kid Mitchell. Somebody dead, it was Kid Mitchell. Sunshine, it was Kid Mitchell. How all of a sudden we are now recognizing that after June 22nd, 2022, that the devil is ready to devour and that we are in our last days. I remember our famous soca artist here, Terra Kid, sang sometime in 2012 thereabout, last days. That's the time when Haiti got the destruction, and I think Korea had a big earthquake or tsunami. Remember that song? How much of us remember that song? And that was way before the general election in 2022. In 2016, there was a rise in crime in Grenada. 2011, he sang this song. In 2016, there was a rise in crime in Grenada. Dr. Mitchell was the person to be blamed for that surge in crime. And now we're speaking of the Bible and what the Bible says. So the Bible is accommodative to only when Kid Mitchell is not in power. So our society's destruction is based now on the revolution that has been there from since in the BC of Jesus Christ. We are just recognizing among our society that the last days is taking its effect. In 2004, after 1955, Grenada saw a devastating hurricane. That wasn't the last days. In 2020, the world saw a pandemic. That was not the last days. But persons are killing people within the state. We're seeing young people laying on the side of the road in blood, gun injuries, and it is just a recognition that we are in our last days. We are just realizing now that we are in our last days because last days are accommodative to political affiliation. That is what it is. Last days are accommodative to political affiliation. So now it is no longer the politician's fault. It is because the Bible said so. And the Bible has been written so long. The Bible written so long, but it's just a recognition now that we are living in our last days. Glory be to God. And commenter, I'm not bashing you. I am saying to you that you need to understand that even back then, when issues were being arise in the same searching crimes, persons were not saying it was the last days. They were saying that Kid Mitchell is the devil. They were even calling him the Antichrist. They were saying he going in Haiti and make Obia, and so we as country people, we were paying for the sins of Dr. Mitchell. How we forget that? All of a sudden, that Kid Mitchell was the biggest Obia man to win general elections. And he's going to tie up grenade, and every time around election, some people must die. It was not at the time a last day's prediction. But now, it is a last day's prediction. Government can do nothing about it, NDC or NNP. Because it's the last days. The last days and the conversation of the last days just come up afloat. The last time their individual made comparison to what is happening in America and its development, and say they realize that NDC is doing the same thing. Gun crime. Now they're telling you, oh, don't look at America. America too big. America's a big country. You can't compare Grenada and America. It is only convenient to them. That Dr. Mitchell was the reason for the rise in crime in 2016. The Bible wasn't written then, in 2016. After Hurricane Ivan, the Bible wasn't written then. After the pandemic, the Bible wasn't written then. They just write the Bible after June 22nd, 2022. Hey, don't use the Bible as all your own convenience. Don't do it. I don't like it. Let's go. The Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation, and Transformation. I think most of us have seen the effect of this ministry. And we're not going to be hypocrites. And I am not going to be a hypocrite. I'm not going to sit here and at the end of the day believe to myself that an individual's jacket must not be given to him. Right? And I do believe in the appraisal that we are appraising today, I believe the dear minister within that ministry, Brother Andy Williams, can, within my book, get a nice little 6 or 6.5. Because his intentions and actions are good. In anything, you're not perfect. In everything, you're not perfect. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to be the person or persons on their program that are going to bash everything. No, I'm not going to do that. I think Minister Andy Williams has done his best, continues to do his best. He falters in many areas in which he must improve on. All right? And that is the person I'm going to be. That's my program. I'm going to tell you guys that. Believe this is one of the ministers that understands the assignment. And he's trying his best to get it done. But it don't make no sense you being the best player on the team and the rest of the team don't know how to play. The rest of the team don't know how to play. He's playing a lot of position on the team. Real position. All right? So within our appraisal today, Brother Andy Williams can get from me a 6.5. I don't know how much you're all willing to give it. But from me, that's the appraisal. We're heading into year 2. Oh my goodness, I didn't want to mention the next one because I'm giving, you know, some teachers, I don't know how many teachers we have here. But you know some children when you pull, they exercise, when you pull a notebook or the page, you could simply put 0. I am giving this next ministry 0. Minister of Climate Resilience, the Environment and Renewable Energy, enhancing Grenada's ability to anticipate, prepare for, and respond over hazardous events, trends, and disturbances related to climate. Karen James. I have been so proud to be a James all my years. So proud. I'm a pro James. I'm still a pro James. And I can put in the remark section when it comes to Sister James. Needs lots of improvement. She needs to settle down in class, get more done, and drive less. Sister James is a young politician. A young female politician. It is a task from all wrong. It would take away from you your youthfulness, because there are things as a young person that you still want to do, but realizing now that you have to do so much adult things. And we know it might be strenuous from you. But at the end of the day, we want to see the efforts being made. As I said to you, it was shameful to me that somebody took a picture of the lands from on top of the lands bridge, viewing the river and speaking on it. And you're looking at the condition of the river area in the dry season. And in a time when the river don't overflow in its bank, and you can keep the river area real nice. You know, keep it clean, cut the edges and so on. And I'm understanding there are persons that have contract to do the work. And they're not getting it done. You have failed not only within your ministry, but being so close to you, also within your constituency. But we are going to appraise you all on constituency tomorrow. Today's ministerial appraisal. Tomorrow we are appraising you guys on constituencies. I don't know if it's me that does get hot. I moved my AC today from 17 to 20 and I'm still sweating. I don't know. Eh? I don't understand that. Because I know you don't water, but yeah, I understand the heat. There is much more, my dear sister. And I'm calling you my sister because, as I keep telling you guys, I just love this young politician. I just love the fact that young people are involved in politics and have gotten the opportunity, given the opportunity. You understand me? The people gave you an opportunity. Young, vibrant, knowledgeable. And the opportunity was given to you. The ball is in your court. We're heading into year 2. I pray, Sister Kieran James, that you get it right. You really have not been getting it right. Your ministry is basically hushed. Nothing coming from there. So when we appraise you, on my appraisal, somebody said to me, put it on 15. I don't know what all you tell me. I put it on 15. Well, apparently it's only 17 you could go. So, I don't know. Right? Let's move on. How much we say we gain, Sister Kirin? I don't mark 0 on that already. Ministry of Education and Sports. A resilient education system developed with well-rounded global citizens committed to lifelong learning. Ladies and gentlemen, within the ministry, somebody put a 0 already. Persons have to put 0 already for the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sports. I must say, and I don't know if this is coming from a GFA perspective, but I've seen a lot happening within the football arena. I don't know if it is because of the new president within the Grenada Football Association, but I've seen a lot happening within the football aspect of things. Right? I don't know how much government's involved within the sporting arena is, but there has been a lot of sporting activities and development for sporting activities that I have noticed. I'm being honest. I've seen cricket, seen hardball, I've seen softball cricket. So I'm not going to be biased. And I always tell you guys that, right? I don't know how much of government involvement is in it. But however, we have seen a nice surge. I have seen a nice surge in terms of youth within sports. As I said, I don't know how much government's involvement are there, but I've seen that. If I'm giving them a grade and it is not deserving, then, but within the sporting development in Grenada, I've been seeing volleyball, I've seen basketball, I've been seeing cricket, both windball and softball. I've seen a little of netball, not so much as we saw before, but football on a height. And honestly, I'm being very honest, if government is involved, I am giving this ministry a 3.5. Education would push them to about a 5.5. Governments, again, maybe I'm following because of the trend of the trade union leader, the teachers union leader. I believe that there might still have been some NNP within education. So there are still little things that are happening. I don't like certain things. I am not going to agree for everything, but I believe the Ministry of Education is one of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sports is one of the areas in which I believe that have been having that level of support. And I'm saying support because you're seeing little sporting activities there and about, and their ministers or the ministers of the government sometimes are involved. Again, it comes back to Brother Williams. I think a lot of, within his ministry of implementation, he has been playing a tremendous part in that area. And as I said, people, let's not just be biased because we supported NP and we just want to make everybody look bad. No. The revamping of the courts and so on, especially the one in Grandlands, we've seen basketball being played. I think there is a national basketball competition taking place. We've seen so many other little things. We have invitational that is. So we were seeing that level of development. I don't know, as I said, government's involvement in it, but I would say if government, if the entities or different entities are doing developments and government is giving whatever small percentage, I commend them on that level. Being very honest. All right. Ministry of Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs. What's your grade? Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs. We know that we have had issues within the Ministry of Health. From all and sundry, it has been said that it has worsened. It has worsened. Dr. Mitchell in the last budget debate enlightened us that $25 million that was allocated in the prior budget to the Ministry of Health is unaccounted for. We can't say where it was used yet. Religious affairs. We honestly do believe that the administration or members of the administration do believe that there is an almighty God, and so their dialogue with the different churches and so on are usually ongoing. But the responsibility thereof says the Ministry of Health of Grenada engages with the Grenadian community at home and abroad. That is all it is. That I leave for you to judge. Ministry of Legal Affairs, Labour and Consumers Affairs are giving them a 0. I don't waiting. Legal Affairs, Labour, Consumers Affairs. I am not even going to waste my time. Somebody saying Grenlec Olio go spoil people things. The current only keep going and coming in Simone area and it's already went for more than 2 hours. Okay, Grenlec joined the bandwagon. Minister of National Security, Public Administration, Information and Disaster Management and what? Home Affairs. Our dear brother Deacon Mitchell. So ladies and gentlemen, all in all, our appraisal, an assessment of our appraisal, and the general assessment that I'll give you guys is that how should I put it? The basic numeric number that we keep getting here. From you guys, I've seen a lot of zeros. But I would say that this administration on an appraisal level out of 10, I'm going to give them a 4.5. Generally. General assessment. There is a lot of room for improvement. Lots of room for improvement. And I say I believe one of this administration's biggest issue is consultation. The second one could simply be understanding the politics of the state. Understanding your people, understanding Grenadians as a people. Right? I believe that with the level of youthfulness that they came in with, understanding the powers that have been given to them, a lot of them have gotten high-handed. And if they simply humble themselves and understand everything that is in front of them, in which I must commend also that they have really exemplified what government continuance really is, because we're realizing that either they really don't have nothing to initiate or they really are on the back that they want to continue all that was left. Because most of the projects, if not 95% of the projects that are still ongoing, are those that have started or implemented by the past administration. And the fact we can safely say that there have not been any major implementation, be it infrastructural, be it economical, by this administration. All the conversation of pension payment are now coming to light because we need to understand pension retroactive and pension continuous payment, pension plan is on the board. Is on the board. You understand me? So when you hear pension reform and you hear all these conversations, this administration is yet to understand this and address it. The big payment you see there is what you call pension retroactive payment. That is a lump sum of money that these people had to get. But they have to continue getting that money. And a lot of persons are complaining that they are not getting it. And now, remember the Senator, our dear sister there in St. George's, Claudette Joseph, spoke in the House of Parliament and the House of Senate and mentioned that it relates to pension and pension reform. Basically regurgitating what Dr. Mitchell said when he had addressed the nation in 2022 or 2021 when he spoke about pension and pension payment. All right? So, ladies and gentlemen, there is a clear understanding within the state that there is more that can be done. And there is too little that is being done. Heading into 2 years. Because if anyone understands politics and be around politics, yes, it sounds like a 5 years strain. But when you look at it merely, it's sometimes 4 years or 4.5. Because at the end of year 4, your next intention is to vie for the next general election. So the more that can be done within your first 2 years, 2 years and a half, is very, very important to your longevity or the longevity of your reign in politics. Believe you me when I tell you this. You see your first 2 years, make that impact. And as we have seen thus far, this government is too laid back on important things. And as we said yesterday, government does not judge when the water is smooth. When crises arise, when issues and things become an urgency within the state, how government deals with it, their integration with entities to get problems solved are important. Gas prices are high. What is government doing? Electrical bills are high. What is government doing? There's a water issue in Grenada. What is government doing? There is gun-related crimes happening. What is government doing? Mental illness around our young people. What is government doing? What has government implemented? Is government working along with private entities to develop? And this is the kind of thing and times when we judge government. Not when they increase teacher's salary and when they increase this one salary and when they increase their salary. That is not how you judge government. Government go and they sign that day and they sign that day. Because you see, at the end of the day, they would have mentioned that there were so many things in the pipeline, as Brother Williams indicated in the House of Parliament. But at this stage, you hear them signing documentation and saying that it would be done by 2030. That is not pipeline. Or by 2028, they're looking to commence. This is not pipeline. So you see, when you assess the hypocrisy and you assess the works that are being done, you would realize what politics really gives. As I said, I am done with the name Kid Mitchell in my head for a reason here in Grenada. I'm done listening to it. Oh, Kid Mitchell do this? Tell you a high-speed chase in Grenada in 2024. Dr. Mitchell is to be blamed. A high-speed chase, Ladies and gentlemen, we continue to be vocal on issues of the state. As I said today, I refused to even mention ministers. And I zeroed in on the ministries and what has been done. Because I am not here to bash an individual or hate an individual based on their capacity. I am here to judge them on the role and function in which our people would have given to them. The task that we would have given to them. And that is where I lay my judgment. Not whether or not I like an individual, whether or not an individual drinking, nor whether or not they saying this about this individual. This is not the judgment. Now we have noticed that the dear brother that was left to do the work of as an MP has been part of a contingency to fly for the opening of the launch of Carnival in New York. We have a question to ask tomorrow concerning that. You're not going to trick the people's, or how you put it, the nation's purse when you want. You're not going to tip it over when you want. As far as we know, this individual is a member of parliament. Not cabinet, parliament. And so, his financials backing, if not from his pocket, must come from the ministry, the House of Parliament. Not the ministry, but the House of Parliament. So I'm praying that it's his money that bring him in America. And that he was not part of a contingent that left here to represent the Ministry of Culture. Because he is not in any way, part of that ministry. As far as we know in Grenada, he's a parliamentary representative. And so he falls under the parliament or the House of Parliament. But however, we'll dig deep into our investigation and I'm certain we would find more. I'm certain that maybe Sister Jenny might be on the on the prowl already concerning that. All right. So again, we have gone a little bit over our estimated time of completion. And so I want to say again, all the best to the young people that will be sitting the CPE exam tomorrow. It was a pleasure having many of you guys here again to follow me over on my YouTube page. I want to say good evening to each and every one of you, and God's blessings to each and every one of you. All right, see you again right back here tomorrow, where we would continue our conversations. All right, I pray that God be with you and your entire family, and that when we see again tomorrow, we would be able to be in a position where we can again exchange political and social ideas. My name is Royalty James for another Class in Session program. Do have yourself a wonderful evening.
That she make, you got to give Black Stallion a break. Peter wait, I say Peter wait. Peter look boat a reach by the gate. With boat I don't want you to waste time. Remember we still have more than behind. Peter look the English woman. immigration. They have plenty more coming. They call them from overseas, but leave my low-key. During my lifetime, to me they were so unkind. So much corruption that they make. Now it is time they must feel me way. Peter, Peter, don't hold me back. Look, the one we drop the public order.